a viral video, a split-second angle, and suddenly the entire internet is asking the exact same question. When Blackpink's Lalisa stepped out at a recent high-profile luxury event in Paris, she looked absolutely flawless. But it wasn't just her archival outfit or her sparkling jewelry that had people talking. Within hours of her arrival, social media platforms, from TikTok to X, were completely flooded with side-by-side photos, zoomed-in slow-motion clips, and intense pixel-by-pixel debates over one highly specific detail, her nose. Did the K-pop superstar quietly undergo a subtle cosmetic procedure behind the scenes? Or is this just the ultimate mind-bending masterclass in professional makeup, harsh lighting, and smartphone camera angles? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the Paris video that broke the internet and sent fandoms into overdrive. We're going to break down the exact timeline of Lisa's recent appearances, look closely at the actual behind-the-scenes techniques celebrity makeup artists use to shapeshift faces, and explore what aesthetic experts have to say about the speculation. Disclaimer: this video is purely for entertainment and speculative commentary. We are not making any factual or medical claims about Lisa, nor are we judging anyone's personal choices. We're simply here to look at the visual evidence, analyze the psychology of the internet's reaction, and lay out the facts. 1. The background, from rookie to global fashion royalty. To understand why this single Paris appearance sparked such a massive, inescapable conversation, we have to rewind a bit and look at the sheer scale of Lisa's fame. Lisa is, without exaggeration, one of the most famous and highly photographed women on the planet. As the main dancer, lead rapper, and charismatic powerhouse of Blackpink, she has been in the unforgiving public eye since she was just a teenager. When you grow up in front of high-definition broadcast cameras that capture every pore, every expression, and every angle, every single change in your appearance is documented, analyzed, and scrutinized by millions. Over the years, fans have watched Lisa transform. She evolved from a fresh-faced, hip-hop-inspired rookie into a formidable global fashion icon. Today, she represents top-tier luxury houses like Celine and Bulgari, carrying an aura of high-fashion exclusivity. With that elevated global status comes an impossibly elevated beauty standard. But here is a fundamental truth that the internet often forgets. Faces change. Weight fluctuations, the grueling nature of K-pop tours, often leads to natural weight loss. Aging, losing buccal fat, baby fat, as you enter your mid to late 20s, naturally sharpens the jawline and cheekbones. Evolving glam teams, switching from one celebrity makeup artist to another, can drastically alter how someone's features are presented. Still, for years there have been quiet, persistent whispers in the darker corners of K-pop forums about Lisa's nose. Netizens have continuously tried to compare her pre-debut childhood photos to her current, ultra-polished look, pointing out what they believe to be subtle, gradual refinements over the years. But normally, these rumors are just background noise. They fade away as quickly as they start. That was until Paris. Paris was the event that took a quiet, years-long rumor, handed it a massive megaphone, and broadcast it to the world. 2. The Paris event, a perfect storm of light and lenses. Let's set the scene. It's Paris, the undisputed fashion capital of the world. The atmosphere is electric. Lisa steps out of her black car, instantly greeted by a chaotic mob of screaming fans and an impenetrable wall of flashing paparazzi cameras. She looks incredible, styled to absolute, meticulous perfection. But in today's digital age, it's rarely the official, well-lit, professionally retouched press photos that go viral. Instead, it's the raw, unedited, fan-captured videos shot on shaking smartphones. And that's exactly what happened here. A short clip uploaded to social media caught Lisa turning her head to interact with someone off-camera. For just a few fleeting seconds, her side profile was violently illuminated by the harsh, direct flash of a fan's camera. Almost immediately, the comment section ignited like wildfire. Viewers began pointing out that the bridge of her nose looked remarkably straight, and the tip appeared significantly sharper, higher, and more defined than in recent memory. But why did this specific video cause such an uproar when Lisa is photographed hundreds of times a day? It all comes down to the environmental lighting. The Paris event was held at night. This means her face was subjected to multiple conflicting directional light sources, overhead streetlights, warm event spotlights, and blindingly cool smartphone flashes. When a harsh LED flash hits a face from the side in the dark, it creates deep, immediate, and extreme shadows. If you are wearing heavy stage contour makeup, which is entirely standard for a red carpet to prevent the face from looking flat, that flash can literally paint a brand new bone structure onto your face for a split second. But for the skeptics online, lighting wasn't enough of an excuse. The video breached the containment of K-pop fandoms. It landed on the TikTok For You pages of casual viewers, plastic surgery commentators, and pop culture analysts, taking the speculation completely mainstream. 3. The evidence breakdown. Anatomy versus reality. So, let's look at the evidence that people are using to fuel this massive debate. Remember, we are strictly looking at this through the lens of visual observation. The internet detectives focused heavily on 3 specific anatomical areas of the nose: the dorsum, the bridge. Observers point out that in side-by-side photos from earlier in her career, her nasal bridge had a softer, more sloped, and slightly wider appearance. In the Paris footage, the bridge appears highly elevated, straight, and uniform. The tip. The viral video showcased a very projected, refined tip. Fans debated endlessly whether this level of upward definition could truly be achieved through natural aging and makeup alone. The alar base, nostril width. Some argued her nostrils appeared narrower compared to her debut era. But before anyone makes up their mind, there is a massive, glaring piece of the puzzle that the internet detectives are completely ignoring. It has everything to do with her schedule. If you know anything about Blackpink, you know they are quite literally always working. World tours spanning multiple continents, demanding music video shoots, high-fashion brand ambassadorships, and endless fashion weeks. Lisa's schedule is booked solid, often 6 to 12 months in advance. Major cosmetic procedures, particularly a surgical rhinoplasty, require significant, unavoidable downtime. We are talking about weeks of visible swelling, dark bruising around the eyes, casts, and delicate healing before someone can even step in front of a standard camera, let alone perform intense, high-energy choreography on a stadium stage. When you look closely at Lisa's public appearances leading up to the Paris event, there are virtually no unexplained gaps in her schedule long enough to accommodate a traditional surgical recovery. She was seen at international airports, at brand pop-up events, and actively posting on social media consistently. So, if her relentless schedule doesn't mathematically allow for a major surgery, what are we really looking at in that viral video? 4. The internet divides fans, skeptics, and the neutral ground. The reaction online was instantly polarized, splitting the internet into 3 very distinct, very loud camps. The skeptics, these were the voices amplifying the video, utterly convinced that a physical change had occurred. They argued that the difference in her side profile was too distinct and structural to be just powders and creams. They pointed to the way the light caught the bridge of her nose as undeniable proof of structural alteration, refusing to accept makeup as a valid explanation. The fierce defenders. Lisa has one of the most fiercely loyal fan bases on Earth, and they mobilized quickly to shut down the rumors. They flooded timelines with alternate angles from the exact same Paris event. In these alternate angles, taken from the front and without the harsh side flash, her nose looked completely normal and unchanged. The defenders argued that it was incredibly unfair and manipulative to freeze-frame one awkward, heavily shadowed millisecond of a moving video and use it to define her entire face. The neutral voices. This camp brought a more sociological perspective. These viewers pointed out that whether she had a procedure or not, it fundamentally shouldn't matter. They highlighted a growing, exhausting frustration with how female celebrities' bodies and faces are treated as public property, open for endless debate and dissection. Overanalyzing every square inch of a celebrity's face detracts from their actual talent, art, and fashion. 5. The aesthetic expert perspective, injectables, and threads. When a celebrity visual goes this viral, it doesn't take long for observers with backgrounds in cosmetics, dermatology, and aesthetics to weigh in. Their perspective offers some fascinating insights into the modern world of subtle, lunchtime enhancements. Many aesthetic commentators who analyzed the Paris footage suggested that if any change did happen, it likely wasn't a traditional, invasive surgery at all. Instead, they pointed to advanced non-surgical options that have revolutionized the beauty industry in recent years. Non-surgical rhinoplasty, liquid rhinoplasty. This procedure involves a doctor strategically injecting dense dermal fillers, like hyaluronic acid, along the bridge or tip of the nose. By filling in dips or bumps, it creates a perfectly straight line, or a more projected, lifted appearance. The major benefit for a celebrity? There is virtually zero downtime. An idol could theoretically have this done on a Tuesday and be walking a red carpet in Paris by Thursday with only a tiny amount of easily concealable swelling. PDO threads. Other commentators speculated about the use of subtle, specialized, dissolving threads. Inserted just under the skin, these threads can temporarily lift the tip of the nose and pull the tissue tighter. These rapid procedures are notoriously difficult for the public to spot. They don't drastically alter the underlying bone structure, they just refine the soft tissue. But even the aesthetic experts admit a crucial caveat. Diagnosing any medical procedure from a single, heavily lit, compressed paparazzi video is incredibly unreliable and entirely speculative. Which brings us to the most powerful tool in a celebrity's arsenal. 6. The illusionists, makeup, tape, and time. Let's talk about the alternative explanations. And honestly, in the entertainment industry, these are almost always the most likely answers. The magic of stage makeup. We aren't just talking about a quick, everyday swipe of bronzer. Celebrity makeup artists are essentially optical illusionists. By using ashy, cool-toned contour powders down the sides of the nose, and a high-wattage reflective liquid highlighter down the absolute center of the bridge and tip, an artist can trick a camera lens into seeing a much thinner, more projected nose. When that specific strip of highlighter is hit by a blinding camera flash in a dark Parisian street, it will aggressively reflect the light back at the lens, making the bridge look razor straight and the tip incredibly sharp. The shadow created by the flash does the rest of the work. Invisible cosmetic tape. Did you know about nose tape? In the global entertainment industry, especially across Asian media, invisible medical-grade cosmetic tape is frequently used. Artists place it strategically to subtly pinch and lift the alar base, or the tip of the nose. It's completely matte, blends into the skin, and is invisible on camera, but it can drastically change a side profile for an event. Camera lens distortion. Smartphone cameras use wide-angle lenses, usually around 24mm to 26mm. When a wide-angle lens is placed close to a subject's face, it severely distorts the center of the face, pulling the nose forward and pushing the ears back. This creates a fisheye effect that can make a nose look entirely different than it does in real life, or on a professional 85mm portrait lens. The natural aging process. Finally, add in the fact that Lisa has matured. She debuted at 19. She is now a woman in her late 20s. As we age, our faces naturally lose subcutaneous fat. This thinning of the face makes underlying bone and cartilage structures, like the nose, cheekbones, and jawline, appear far more prominent and defined than they did during our teenage years. 7. The wider context, K-pop's unforgiving beauty standards. To really grasp why this video became such a massive talking point, we have to zoom out and look at the wider context of the K-pop industry itself. South Korea is widely recognized as a global pioneer and capital for cosmetic advancements, skincare, and beauty innovation. Within the K-pop industry, the pressure to maintain an absolute, almost superhuman standard of visual perfection is immense. Idols are subjected to a level of visual scrutiny that is hard for the average person to even comprehend. Because of this intense pressure, subtle enhancements, like skin-smoothing lasers, facial fillers, Botox, and minor non-invasive tweaks, are often considered just par for the course. For many entertainers, it's simply part of the job description to look flawless from 360 degrees. While Western celebrities utilize the exact same dermatological treatments, the K-pop industry operates under a unique, highly critical microscope. When rumors like the Paris video pop up, it forces fans to grapple with a difficult reality. The idols they look up to are human beings facing astronomical, relentless pressure to look perfect at all times. Whether an idol chooses to use brilliant makeup techniques, invisible tape, or subtle cosmetic procedures to navigate that heavy pressure is entirely their prerogative. Yet, the internet continues to demand transparency where absolutely none is owed. So, where does that leave us with the viral Paris video? On one hand, you have a split-second, highly illuminated angle that looks undeniably different to the naked eye, sparking credible theories of subtle, non-invasive tweaks that perfectly fit into a packed superstar schedule. On the other hand, you have the undeniable, transformative power of elite makeup artistry, harsh flash photography, focal lens distortion, and natural aging, all of which can completely shape-shift a face for a single photograph. The truth is, unless Lisa herself decides to sit down and share her beauty secrets with the world, we will never know for sure. And frankly, she doesn't owe the internet, or anyone else, an explanation. She remains a powerhouse performer, a global fashion icon, and one of the most stunning and successful women in the entertainment industry, regardless of how her highlighter caught the light that night in Paris.